Breaking news, KTVC, your source for all your Texas revolutionary news, at approximately 7:30 a.m. Thank you for joining us. At this hour we are now learning that Texian revolutionary forces launched a surprise attack on the Mexican army garrisoned at Presidio La Bahia just hours ago. It's only been about a week since the skirmish at Gonzales, and already Texas freedom fighters are on the offensive. For more on this breaking story, we take you to Presidio La Bahia, and our KTVC correspondent on the scene, Joseph James.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Earlier this cold morning, a couple of hours ago, 4 groups of armed revolutionary patriots were stealthily making their way in the dark to their pre-planned positions, making ready for their assault on the Mexican army garrisoned at Presidio La Bahia, near Goliad. The plan was for 4 different groups to launch a sneak attack after dark on the fortress held by the Mexican army. 3 assault groups were made up of the fighting Texians from the Matagorda Volunteer Company, under the command of George Collinsworth, and 1 group consisted of the fighting Tejanos, from the Tejano Volunteer Company, led by Plácido Benavides. We have identified one of the fighting Tejanos as Gregorio Esparza. And, in the pre-dawn hours of today, October 10, 1835, the Texians and Tejanos attacked. A Mexican sentry, who was keeping watch that night, saw the Texians and Tejanos sneaking in the darkness, so he gave the alarm, and immediately, one of the Texians then shot him dead. The defending Mexican troops then ran and lined the walls, in defense of their fort. But, were unaware that the rebels were just outside the north entrance. The Texians and Tejanos then proceeded to hack through a door on the north wall of the fortress, with axes the local citizens had brought them. Sources close to the action said that when the attacking Texian and Tejanos successfully entered the courtyard, charging, and, as they reached the Mexican officers' quarters, a shot rang out, and a young Matagorda volunteer leading the charge was shot. The Texians and Tejanos then returned fire for approximately 30 minutes. When the fighting subsided for a minute, a fighting Texian from Matagorda yelled out,
"We will massacre every one of you, unless you come out immediately and surrender."
10 minutes later, the Mexican garrison surrendered to the attacking revolutionary forces. And, just like that, the Texian/Tejano revolutionary volunteers scored an early victory in this newly started Texas Revolution. We are now being told that the Battle of Goliad, as it's being called, is now over. Also, just in, the young Texian patriot shot this morning was 25 years old, from the Matagorda Volunteers, and had just recently enlisted. History will now remember this young patriot as the first Texan casualty of the Revolution. His name has now been released, Samuel McCulloch Jr., a free black man, fighting with the Matagorda Volunteer Company. Our prayers are with him and his family. Estimates of this morning's Mexican casualties range from 1 to 3 soldiers killed and from 3 to 7 wounded. Approximately 20 Mexican soldiers escaped. They warned the garrisons at Copano and Refugio of the advancing Texians. Those garrisons abandoned their posts and joined the soldiers at Fort Lipontitlan. And, finally, Elizabeth, as you already know, I've been assigned to join and follow the volunteers, the patriots of this now forming Texian Army, also known as the Revolutionary Army. I hear that Stephen F. Austin is forming that army at San Felipe right now, so that's where I'm headed. I will bring you the up-to-the-moment revolutionary news, as it happens. Reporting from Presidio La Bahia, for KTVC News, Joseph James. Back to you, Elizabeth.
Thank you for your report, Joseph, on this morning's battle at Presidio La Bahia, the Battle of Goliad. This battle proved to be an early victory for the Texians and Tejanos during our Texas Revolution. Remember, stay with KTVC as we bring you all the up-to-the-moment breaking Texas revolutionary news as it happens. We'll keep you posted as these revolutionary events develop.